Hello everybody, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. First of all, I have to apologize for starting this program late today. It was due to some technical issues, beyond our control. A lot of Facebook restrictions, and I don't know, maybe somebody's not happy with this program, but there's no stopping what is good. So you are welcome once more. This is Obi Ojimadu with Nigeria, the National Question. And today on the topic, we have the botched Nigerian Army medical outreach in the southeastern part of Nigeria. So to trust or not to trust. And secondly, we'll talk about the upcoming gubernatorial elections in Anambra State. Well, a lot has happened. We've not been on air for some time now, but believe me, it's for good. We are cooking up something special that will be coming soon, and we'll keep you posted. All right, to discuss with me today, I have my honorable guest, very frequent on this program. He is Prince Oscar Ojinnaka. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Can you introduce yourself once more?
Okay, our guest, my name is Prince Oscar Chibuzo Ojinnaka. I am from Umu Ejikoha Oba Umaka in Olo province, Imo State.
Okay, Imo State. Okay, you're welcome, sir.
Okay, sir.
You're welcome. Our topic today, the Nigerian Army medical outreach in the southeast of Nigeria, which they said was part of the Operation Python Dance, Egweke 2. It was part of the program to have a medical outreach to treat people who are sick, who might need medical attention and stuff. But something different happened. The rumors started flying around that the Nigerian Army was sent by the government to depopulate the southeastern part of Nigeria using some kind of vaccination or something like that. And this caused panic. And many parents had to withdraw their children from school. In all the 5 eastern Nigeria states, parents withdrew their children from schools. There was panic. And there were rumors going as well that they were forcing pupils to have the vaccinations, and some pupils were even shot, those who refused. I mean, some kind of rumors. First, I will ask you, what do you make of the whole thing? As somebody from the southeast, what do you make of this whole situation?
Thank you, moderator, for having me. Honestly speaking, the vital dance of Nigerian Army, this is not the first time we have something like that. The Python dance also, in the beginning, they have Python dance 1.
Yeah, that was last year. Yeah.
That was last year. It ended up in bloodshed. They killed the Biafrans, most of them, many of them. So this second Python dance, moderator, let me take you a little bit far, because we are aware of what is going on in the southeast. That Python dance comes after the leader of IPOP had a meeting with the southeast governors. So I think in that meeting, all the 5 states was represented.
Yeah.
And including Professor Nwabeze and Evangelist Okon, right? Okay. So in that meeting, they wanted they finalized there that they will take a kind of restructuring, if Nnamdi Kanu will agree. And Nnamdi Kanu insisted that he is not the one who sent himself. He leads more than 4 million Biafrans. So after that meeting, they know that Nnamdi Kanu is not ready to accept what they offer to him. So the 5 governors have to send the message to their masters, who they are representing in Southeast, that is their slave masters. So after that, we see the announcement of Pipe dance, military exercise that is going to take place in Biafra land. But the Pipe dance, before we can know what is going on, they are already in Afuku Ibeku. shooting and killing. Periodically, they were shooting. They killed more than 20 people in the leaders of indigenous people of Biafra. And since then, our leader have not been seen. Nobody knows his whereabouts. Now, after the whole thing, there is many killings in Aba. There is many killings in Obibo. There is many killings in some part of River State. Then suddenly, what we heard is that the military, they are giving vaccine to the people in the school. I mean, how can we cannot accept something like that? Because I know that military can take such a thing. The example of where such a thing happened was in Iraq. After American government invaded Iraq, that was the time of Bush administration. So because America knows what it takes, that after war, some children have to be got sick or contaminated or some diseases. But in Southeast, it's just different. We are not in a war. You understand? They are not fighting war, but they rather came to kill. Then as soon as that...
No, but we can't say they came to kill. There wasn't any kind of war announcement. I mean, but let me say, the Nigerian Armed Forces, not just the Army alone, the Navy as well, they do have, periodic medical outreach in different parts of the country.
No.
And people are, yes, 100%. People are treated, they donate materials, to hospitals, to motherless babies' homes, and it's something normal. Why the panic with this one?
The panic is how can, after killing and maiming unarmed people, innocent people, we have to got something there. These people, we are not terrorists. They have no arms. They started killing so many souls. Then after that, and meanwhile, before then, there was a rumor. In a conversation with one of the, I have forgotten his name, one of the governor of the, one governor from the northern part, had a discussion with his Yoruba colleague. They made mention there that they are going to wipe all the Igbo people out. The race, they have to wipe them out. You understand? So all these things we have to, and they promise that they are going to bring war to our doorsteps, to our leader's doorsteps in his own family. And they brought the war. Then why can't we panic?
Let me first underline that Prince Oscar Ojinaka, you're a member of the IPOB.
Yes.
And so we will understand where you're coming from and the point you're trying to make in this particular issue. But if we look at it, these were bare rumors. I mean, they were saying that some children were being shot, or they were forcing children to have this so-called vaccination. But they were not really, no proof of such action.
Moderator, where that, monkeypox started in Bayelsa.
That's right.
And in Bayelsa, where the monkeypox started, that was a place where children have given the vaccination. After some time, they have the monkeypox. Yes, that is what we had from the social media, and after that, the children that was immunized, they started dying, and they showed the pictures of those children from Bayelsa State. They showed the picture, and we got it. You understand? So how can we think? How do we think that after the killings and maiming of people in Southeast, at the same time the military have to introduce a vaccine that,
but it wasn't really called a vaccine. These were more or less rumors. Like you correctly said, these are the kind of rumors going around the social media. They were not official statements. Nobody said, there was no link between this outreach with the monkeypox that broke out, that started in Bayelsa State. So the way I saw it first was that the army was trying to, kind of give an olive branch to the people of Southeast to make them not think that they are there to maim and kill, but they are rather there to help as well.
No.
So thus we have this medical outreach, which sounds
in
reasonable.
Southeast, there is no diseases in Southeast.
No, but it must not be. No. They said people call it vaccination, but there was no vaccination. It was more or less medical outreach. If somebody has high blood pressure, they could measure, give some medication, and something
that
like
is
that.
That is not what the Southeastern people need. That is not what we need.
Everybody needs that in Nigeria.
See. Before the patriotic dance, they made announcement that the army are going to Southeast in order to make sure that the kidnappers in the Southeast
to stop crime,
to do this, to do that. And suddenly we see them invading the house of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, after that one, what really happened? They said they didn't even make announcement that after the program or after their distance that they are going to have a medical help out to the people. They didn't announce it. The governor or governors of the state didn't announce it. The minister of health didn't announce it. Now people is not aware of it. The traditional rulers, nobody knows of it. Then after that, they just there is a suspicious aspect of it. In fact, I would not, after the whole thing that happens in Abia State, I would not allow my children to. I come home. I want my people not to take that vaccination.
So, but I would say it was more of a precautionary measure of people.
It's not precautionary.
Yes, to avoid, because there's this. That's why this question we asked: to trust or not to trust. Probably the people in the Southeast don't have that trust on the army. So even if the army is like reaching out, with goodwill.
There is no point of trusting them. We cannot.
But it doesn't mean that they were out there to do harm.
They are there to kill.
I'm talking about the medical outreach.
Who knows? That can be a biological warfare. Who knows? Who knows? Yes, of course. That can be a biological warfare. They want to use it in order to diminish the population of Southeast, because it has been in their mind in order that they will conquer Southeast and they can never control their destiny. You understand? So, we don't have to trust them. What are the armies? When the herdsmen are there killing a number of people in Enugu, where is the army? When the herdsmen are raping, killing, maiming people, and the army was not there to protect them, why are they coming out to give us the medical treatment? Who have sanctioned that? That is the question. Who have sanctioned that? Whom have they told? Did they ever tell somebody about it? Did they make an announcement? Did they ever let people know that we are going to have a medical reach out to the people? And why is it only the children?
It wasn't just only the children, from what was mentioned.
But the whole information that we got at the news desk is it's children. They will go to school. They will lock the gates and be forcing children to be take
these were rumors. These were rumors.
We can call it rumors, but that is
not fact.
Something like in Ekuro, something like that happened. You understand? With the former village that the headsmen went to the church and Mem, that's St. Michael's.
Right.
Yes, such a thing happened in the school. In the school, St. Michael's, yes, the Catholic Church. They have a school there. That is the place the army went in Anambra State. Why? Why is it only in that school?
Well, let me read a report made by the Nigerian Army on this. The army have urged the people to disregard rumors that are ongoing, that the ongoing free medical outreach, especially in the Southeast, was aimed at depopulating the zone. They said that the medical outreach was not a vaccine intended to infect monkeypox or any major contemporary or emerging diseases to the people of the zone or any part of the country. He described as silly and mischievous publications trending on the social media alleging that the ongoing free medical services given to some communities in the zone was with a sinister motive of depopulating the region through the so-called monkeypox vaccination. He went further to say that the exercise is part of the corporate social responsibility initiatives built into the overall exercise Egweke2 package to the people of the southeastern zone. And it was mentioned here that, like you said, that they also had this in Ozubulu.
In
Ozubulu, yeah, in Ekusigo local government area in Anambra State. So, why the panic? There was no proof case of forced vaccination or anything. Why do you think, okay, maybe you are not there, why do you think this happened?
All right, me and you can bear witness in this country that we are, that if the military have to take any exercise,
yeah,
they have to let the whole people know. Why is it in the case of Nigeria, it's not like that? Now they are writing what they want because they want people to believe them beyond every reasonable doubt that they are not there to kill. Who knows? But Mogeto, let me remind you something. In about that was during the time of Jonathan Goodluck administration. There was a time America sent aids to Nigeria to eradicate the polio in the northern part of Nigeria. Me and you are aware that the Northerners didn't allow that vaccine to take place. They said that vaccine was contaminated with diseases.
Yeah, that's what true.
Their elders didn't allow. They rejected the vaccine from America and they accepted the one from Saudi Arabia. That is the one they accepted. Now, if the Northerners rejected such a thing, then how can we trust the military after how many years of killings? We don't have to. 2016, the army killed the unarmed people. 2015, they killed unarmed people. 2016, the same thing happened. Then this 2017, the same thing happened. How can we trust the army? There is no trust there, and we cannot.
Okay, Frank Uche is saying, brother, this is not a rumor. The Nigerian army evil. Can you expatiate on that? Did you see any evil motive with this medical outreach? Any proof of anybody being infected or children being forced to take the so-called vaccines? So, and to move further on this, schools were closed in the zone that period.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, schools were closed.
For
and
sure.
It got to the point that the Nigeria, the 82 division based in Enugu, had to call off the medical outreach to reduce tension.
That is what they're supposed to do because IPOB made an announcement. They made an announcement that every parent should withdraw their children from school. And I'm happy that people adhere and they listen to what IPOB. We are here to defend ourselves.
Okay. And many people are accusing IPOB as the people who created this confusion by inserting these rumors.
No. Any person who is doing such a thing, I mean, that is a mistake. I mean, he didn't got it right because we cannot stand seeing our people being killed, seeing our people being made every day by day. Then we are going to trust them. Who are we going to trust? Who IPOB is going to trust? Muhammadu Buhari? Or the Minister of Defense? Or who? Even up to now, they have not even told us what the vaccine is all about.
But we're not talking about vaccination. So just medical outreach.
The medical outreach.
People.
What is it?
If you have eye infection, they will treat you. You have high blood pressure, they will check you.
It
was not about vaccination.
Nigerian army is not qualified to be in that
No. You have the Nigerian Army Medical Corps, where you have qualified doctors and nurses who do these things. They do it every time.
Qualified
doctors and nurses
in Nigerian military.
In Nigerian military. You have Nigerian military hospitals.
Then,
in the war front, anywhere, anytime, the army, they treat themselves.
If Nigeria had a qualified doctors moderator, why should Nigerian president travel to abroad to treat himself?
That is a different case altogether.
No. I cannot accept that.
No, what you are talking about now is a broader question that has to do with why the medical situation in the country is stable. But it doesn't mean that the common man cannot go to the hospital and get treatment.
Wow. Common man go to the hospital and get treatment. I mean, then after the whole treatment, what happened? The same thing occurred. People are dying because of, lack of medication.
Maybe because people cannot afford it, probably.
No, how can we trust Nigerian army for goodness sake? We don't have to. There is a diseases in the northern part. Have they eradicated the polio that is in the northern part? The answer is no. There are more diseases in the northern part. Why didn't the army carry the python dance medicament to the north?
But they do have medical outreach in the north as well.
They do have.
Everywhere.
They do have.
Yeah, everywhere.
But I'm sorry, in the southeast, there is nothing like that. I mean, there is no diseases that we did not for one day ask the Nigerian government that we need an assistant. The so-called governors have not for one day asked Nigerian government that we need a vaccination or medical outreach. We have not asked them for that.
So usually, usually they do this. And it's free medical outreach, so that people who can afford Medicare can tap into this.
I am very, very happy that now we Biafrans are telling our stories. We are defending ourselves. I am very, very happy because I mean such a thing is quite unheard of that a military will come and carry on a medical treatment operation in our land without informing the people.
Well, maybe that might be the issue. Where we'll make the summary, and I think that is where a problem came in. I believe that they've been doing this even in the southeast everywhere. But what I think it's maybe it was ill-timed. Tension was high already. People, after seeing killings, the reported killings, maybe torture of maybe their friends and relatives, now seeing the same people coming with a medical outreach, and then with rumors flying, definitely the mistrust comes in here. I think this is the main problem, the mistrust. Look, the army has been doing this for many years.
I should have agreed with the army if I thought that they made it, instead of pipeful dance, they bring peaceful dance in the southeast. Then after the peaceful dance, then medical treatment will take place. We should have trust them. But we all know the meaning of python. Is an animal that is very, very dangerous. Mm-hmm. Then how can after that python dance, many is down, many people were killed. Then at the same time we will allow them to give us a medical handout, reach out. I mean, this is not 1967 to 70. We are in 2017. We are in the 21st century. After Bible dance, then how? Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa is in Southeast. Yeah. You want to give us, give out help. Father Christmas. Okay. When did Nigeria army turn to Father Christmas?
No, they do that. They do
when?
That. Come on, let's maybe I understand the tension now and the mistrust, I will call it, but I believe the whole thing was ill-timed. This is what I believe, because of what happened before then. The tension was already boiling. It was already very high, and now the outreach, the rumors added to it that people believe that there was a kind of evil motives. But let me go further. It didn't stop at that. The army also have the Operation Crocodile Smile in the southwest of the country, and part of the operation was also a medical outreach, and the same rumors also went back there, up there in the western parts, and in the midwestern region. In Ondo states also, the rumors started. Parents had to withdraw their children from school.
Of course.
In Ondo State, that's southwestern Nigeria.
Of course.
There is
no trust in Nigerian military.
In Edo State, the same thing happened.
There is no trust.
And in some other states, the rumors
there is no trust. Since this regime, there is no trust. Nobody, I mean, can believe the Buhari administration. There is no trust because they are there, they are out to kill. I don't think that if your children will be in the southeast going to school, that you will allow them to take after the whole thing.
Okay, let's, according to the spokesman of the Nigerian Army Artillery in Akure, he said that no officer can administer a vaccine on a child for any reason. He urged the public to consider the rumor as the handiwork of detractors. There was nothing like that. No officer administered a vaccine on any child in any part of the state. It was a mere rumor existing in the minds of those peddling it. And they said that people should pay attention to that. That is all rumors. So, I mean, it's happening in those states as well.
It happened in Edo State. Moderator, let me tell you one thing. We have to understand, I mean, yes, it happened in Edo State because the people of Southeast didn't allow such a thing to happen. That is why the people in Edo State...
So the rumors were exported to other regions.
Me and you will watch a video whereby the so-called Nigerian military forced people to drink malt. These people did not commit any crime. They forced them to drink mud. Then, how can after drinking mud that you can reach out? Well, I mean, we don't have to. We don't. Even if my old grandfather can never trust such an attitude. It's like we don't know what really happened in the Southeast. Okay. It's like we don't really, see what the hands of the devil upon our children.
Okay.
They killed innocent people. What was their offense? The offense is what? How can we trust them? Okay, and not only that, after the whole thing, did you see any governor from the Southeast making a report or making an announcement or apologize for what really happened? That people, you have to calm down. What happened, it was a mistake. Take your children to school, let them take the vaccination. They have to let them explain what the vaccination is all about.
No, but the governor of Anambra had to ask the army to stop it, not to escalate the tension again. And the army had to withdraw.
The army have to withdraw. The army have to withdraw. That is where the mistakes comes from. Because they themselves, they know what they did. More especially that Anambra State governor, Obiano. Obiano knows exactly what he did, what he's doing in that state. That is why he ran to stop it. But he did not stop the army entering into Southeast, shooting and killing in the Nnamdi Kalu's house. No, we cannot.
Okay, let me announce that the studio line is open now. You see on the comment box, you see the studio line. You can call in, and we're willing to hear your own contributions. Okay, let me read what's going on here. Ihanye Chukwu is saying that it's not ill-timed, it's a coordinated genocide on Biafrans. Well, he also went to say that Biafrans stay loyal, focused, vigilant, and resolute. Okay, what's the number? The number is here, studio line. Okay, Chukwu Jacob is saying that Hausa Fulani, their aim is to wipe out all old Easterners. That was the purpose of the medical outreach. Okay. Apagu Jafar is answering Chukwu Jacobs. Mere hatred is your problem. Well, no. What I would say is more or less mistrust that we are having that is going on. People maybe don't trust what is going on, and coupled with the rumors going on. Once again, I say the studio line is open. Check the comment section. You'll see the studio line. Call in and contribute. Okay, so you believe that it's a plan sort of to harm the people of the Southeast? Do you think the governors will sit and allow that to happen?
First of all, who are the governors representing?
The governors, they are from the Southeast.
No, who are they representing?
They were elected by the people.
We know, but who are they representing? On whose interest? They are representing who?
Who? The interest of the people.
The interest of the people
should be like that. Yeah.
I don't think that was a planned deal. Because in Iraq, Saddam Hussein used a chemical weapon on his people when the time of on Kurdish.
Yeah, against the Kurds.
Yeah, against the Kurds. That kind of thing cannot happen now, because any bomb or whatever that you drop on armed people, that is a big offense before the international community. You understand? So they didn't want it to use it a kind of throwing bombs in South. Had even they have the chance to do it, they should have done it. But now, you see, that is to show you that they planned it through immunization. Let them remove that generation so that there's something pertaining Biafra, they will wipe it out.
But,
you understand?
You don't have any proof of this. I believe these were more insinuations or rumors, actually. Do you have any proof of such thing?
I have a proof. If I thought the federal government did not let the people know that you are going to have a medical handout, is that not enough? Is that not enough proof? How can you just come and give me a medication without even letting me to know what I'm going to take? More especially my own child, the children for that matter.
All right, let's take this call. Hello.
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 Yes.
Yes. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Reverend Father Anthony, and I'm calling from here. Calling from Arkham.
Oh, yeah, Reverend Father Anthony. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, we missed that. Okay, Reverend Father Anthony, please try the line again. Okay. So, yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was saying something, you know, as we are now, I think there is no way a patient will go to hospital and meet doctor, although he will have explained his situation, what is happening. You know, doctor have to make a recommendation.
All right. Let's take this call. Hello. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, sir.
Hello, my name is Sunday. I'm calling from Abuja.
Sunday from Abuja. You're welcome, sir. What's your contribution to the topic?
Okay, well, I do see all. I will not take much of your time. Let me just make my contribution specific. It's based on the argument on the studio over there concerning the board inoculation of the thing.
What? Medical outreach.
I want to say that what your guy over there is saying is absolutely true concerning the chemical weapon diverted in a different form. They wanted to chemicalize our people, but God so kind, everything was exposed. How would you come to immunize people that you just failed? You use gun on them, you use all means to eliminate them in different means. Yes, you did not succeed. You wanted to immunize them again. What are you immunizing them of? Was there any endemic or epidemic on the Southeast and maybe back on such immunization? That is the question. And you over there, the man, you are asking me. Now you say you are an intellectual. An intellect, and you are arguing that these people have no bad intention. How would you say that those immunization is of good intent? How would you just invite people's community and begin to give immunization without people's clear notice? Are you not supposed to advertise, publicize, allow people to know? Before you come to immunize the community, you just come and begin to invade. Okay, didn't you let parents run to school to withdraw their children, and the idea arguing the whole thing? I'm very disappointed about your opinion on this.
No, brother. I think you got me wrong. You got me wrong. I'm not defending anybody. You heard me say that the whole thing is ill-timed. I was just talking from the official point of view. I am not arguing for anybody. My questions were addressed to him so that he can explain. That is my job. I'm hearing you, sir.
Okay, because I'm going to stop interrupting so that I don't make my call and drop because I'm spending out too much.
It's all right, sir. It's all right.
Where they don't give us time. They don't allow us to exist anywhere. You want to make on a outside country, you know how much it costs, but how much is not what I'm talking about. Let me just finish up.
It's all right. It's all right.
Still on that state immunization. I said those immunization is on top of because we don't have any disease.
Okay, I understand you, sir. All right. What an accusation. Well, sir, I understand your emotions, but let me make something clear here. I'm asking questions. I'm asking my contributor here questions that will make him say what he needs to say and prove the point. I'm not defending anybody. We have to ask. It is a dialogue. All right. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, Reverend Father.
My name is Anthony Ebunobi.
Yes, sir. Yes, Reverend Father. We can hear you.
Yes. I want to talk about the election in Anambra State.
Okay. We've not started about that, but let's hear you, sir.
Yeah. I am from Anambra State.
Oh, great.
And I don't want anything to disrupt that election.
Okay.
You are reason.
And if you look at the nature of the candidate, I see progress in it. I see people who are determined to make change, to take us forward. And of course, I want Biafra, but at the same time, I wouldn't want violence.
Okay.
My father fought in the war, and I know what it means. I see the mark of that war on his body, and it makes me sad. But I see in Anambra State election an opportunity for Anambrarians to see the brighter future. All the candidates are young, apart from Obiano, and all of them have what it takes to lead. Biafra, I believe, should come lawfully. We have to follow the state of the law. Look at what is happening in Catalonia, how they are following it. Nobody has been killed, and they are ready to fight a war. The belief is to use what the law provides in order to get what they want. So whoever is motivating or tells people not to vote, it's not helping Anambra State in any way. It will not help us. What will help us is leadership. The problem with Nigeria is leadership crisis. We have what it takes to elect the right people. This is a good enough for Anambra State to do that. For us to sacrifice this because of Biafra will not help us. Already the Biafran agitation has experienced a very big obstacle, and nobody knows the way forward. This Anambra State as a scapegoat is what I don't want. So I am of the opinion that the election should hold. This should stop it. It is our only legitimate means to change our state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Reverend Father. Thank you very much, Reverend Father Anthony. Thank you for calling. Well, I think let me answer a few questions here. Somebody is asking, how come Sunday Nathan is not here today? I hope everything is fine. Yes, brother Apagu Jarafu. Everything is fine. Sunday is good. Just that the topic at hand, had to ask somebody from the region and let's hear him what he has to say. Sunday is here. He's with us. He's with me. He's on the program at the right time. Sunday will appear. So no problem. So nobody should think that he ran away or that the Yoruba contributors ran away. Nobody ran away. People also have things that they are doing. As you can see, many of them are online. They are calling as well. They are writing. We have a group where we discuss issues prior to any program. So we are united in our forum here. You know what we are saying? Even if people might have different views about everything, we are still together because we all have Nigeria at heart. What is good for all the citizens of today's Nigeria, whatever is good for them, no matter the kind of views that we might have. Okay. Okay. Now I think it's time to move on to the Anambra elections come November 18. IPOB made it clear that they would want people to boycott the elections, not to disrupt, but people should sit at home and don't go to vote.
Yes.
So, is there any change in plans? Any other thing going on? Still, what is going on?
Before the last caller called, there is some emphasis I want to make about the military of Nintendo.
Okay, you want us to talk about the...
Yes, I want to just make it clear that what the people or the children in the southeast need is not the medical assistance. They need a better school. They need a better future. They need good roads. They need, after their secondary school or their university level, they get job. All these things, they need infrastructure. They need many things that is good that other people are enjoying, not medical assistance. There is no epidemic in Southeast. So federal government or the military, you have to be aware of what your people are doing. If you know that you care for those people, just listen to the youths and listen to the call that they are calling. What is their mind? What do they want? This is the only way that you can help out. Not by bringing a biological warfare, wanted to diminish the population of the Igbos. So we don't need that. So, moderator, coming to the Anambra election that you are talking about, honestly speaking, what the last caller said, that he don't want anybody to disrupt Anambra election. It has never been in our IPOB decision that we are going to disrupt Anambra election.
No, because some people say no elections in Anambra. What does that mean?
What we are calling, let me make it clear.
You're
what we are calling is boycott.
Okay, but that's not going to stop the elections.
Nobody is stopping the election.
Okay.
But what we are saying is that we, the IPO, we the Biafrans, we are going to sit at home that very day. We are not going to participate. No matter whosoever, even if Jesus Christ comes out today and started contesting for another election, we are going to boycott it. We are not going to vote for him.
Okay.
No matter who else that is coming.
Let me ask this. Don't you think it is proper with the IPOB, the input manpower that IPOB has, with the supporter that IPOB has, don't you think it's to make a change and to really get what the voice heard? Is it not proper for IPOB to support a particular candidate?
No.
To kind of go with the population, why not? Don't you think that if the person wins, it could be better to make IPOB's voice heard? Or is there anything?
No. Such a thing has happened. Such a thing has happened before.
Okay.
During the time of Odumegwu Ojukwu.
Okay.
I think that was in Second Republic, right? He contested, and Odumegwu Ojukwu won last land in for Senate,
right.
But they did not give it to him. Now, we are talking about...
He didn't win, or it wasn't given to him?
He won, but it was given to Omudiwe, his opponent. That is the power of the president and INEC. You understand? So such a thing will not happen.
So you think that if purely a candidate supported by IPOB wins, that
there
the mandate will not be given to him?
They are going, that the same people, Obiano, Nnamdi Kanu campaigned for Obiano, 2013 to November. That young man did not sleep. He started broadcasting from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 a.m. the following day to make sure that APC did not win. We have done so. We have done it before. What really happened? What is Obiano doing to us? What has Obiano built to the Anambarians? What have they? Which kind of good offer have Obiano given to the people? If not killing. The killing started from Onitsha. Obiano gave a command, and they shot women that are on protesting. They killed. At the same thing. Obiano killed. More than 500 Biafrans was buried at the military base in Onitsha. Obiano spearheaded it. Then, who is that righteous man that is going to come that we are going to give our vote? We are going to give them civil disobedience. We are not interested not interested in by boycotting. We are not interested in any election. We are not going to vote. That very day we have said is Ofen Salah Day in Anambra State. Sit at home and enjoy yourself. Let us see how they are going to make it. I know that no matter what, somebody is going to be there. We know. But that is the speaker of the in the House of Reps. Because if they don't have up to the percentage of the amount they needed.
What percentage? The law says that whoever wins the majority of the votes cast is declared winner.
But we know that if they cannot make it up to 60% of the voters from coming, you know one thing, we just wanted to break a record. We just wanted to make a history.
Okay, all right. INEC laws, electoral laws in Nigeria does not say there must be a quorum for any elections to be declared valid. If 1,000 people registered and 50 came to vote, and 26 voted for one person, the person has won.
The person has won.
Yes.
How is that government going to work out?
How is it not going to work out?
The government is not going to work out.
How? Tell me.
Because people, according to INEC said that the registered voters are 2.something million.
Okay.
Out of 2.something million, then 50 people vote.
Okay. Just an example.
For example, 50 people come and vote, or 10 people voted for a candidate that they will. We have to understand that is, I don't think
So
that
how wouldn't that government work?
the government is not going
If
to
the
work.
person was voted in according to the laws.
Who voted him? In Nigeria, there is nothing like vote. Obiano have to understand there is nothing like voting. They choose who is going to be there. You understand?
Okay.
So we are aware of that. IPOB, we know. They are not. I mean, that there is we had that Obiano paid some people to come to Aba, go to Owerri, go to many sister states to bring people because they know that IPOB is not coming out because
How
we have the population.
are the people going to vote if they're from other regions?
Okay,
If they are registered.
you have not heard that Obiano is forcing every government workers to submit their voters card.
Oh, I heard that.
Even in the church, the so-called Reverend Father in Anambra are preaching. Look at this, a Reverend Father in the church, Bishop in the church, accepting bribe from Obiano, telling people, persuading them to bring their voters card to vote.
Bringing it to go and vote in the
To
election.
submit it.
Submit to who?
To the government.
Why
The government of Obiano.
Why did you submit your voter's card?
Obiano said that if you are a government worker and you did not bring their voters card, you are not going to receive your salary.
To bring it to the government.
To give it to their.
Okay, so they will use it somehow.
They will use it in election malpractices. You are just asking as if you are not from the.
No, I just want that.
You are not from Nigeria.
Okay, let me read a comment here. Brother Apabu Jarafu, said, Mr. Obi, this platform would have been a great show for us all Nigerians to argue our sectional differences constructively. Rather, some people are using this medium to pour insults on others. Well, Brother Apabu, I'm sure if you've been following this program, we always had people from different regions, from different political, religious, ethnic background, and we've always, argued constructively. Like I said earlier, despite the differences that we have, we argue, we make everybody our points clear, we agree on some particular things, and we agree that yes, we need to move forward, and we all agree that yes, we need to dialogue. So people make comments in the comment section, and I always call on them that it's not a place to pour argument, to pour insults. Insults will not get you anywhere. I am for constructive dialogue. That is what this whole program is all about. He is alone here today, but it does not mean that people cannot call him to tell him that they don't agree with him. It does not mean that you cannot make any comments here to say that you don't agree with one thing or the other. It's open. We have different days, different topics. We're going to have a town hall meeting very soon where we're going to have all the Nigerians available so that we can make it more interactive and the outreach will be wider. Okay? So I still call on everybody, no insults. If you want to make your point, please make your point, no doubt. Put your points down in the comment section. Call in. You have the studio number there. Call. Make your voice heard. No insults will not get us anywhere. Let us get constructive dialogue. Okay? And we're coming back to the Anambra election. So you believe that, okay, in the case that a candidate still wins, despite the boycott, a candidate wins, the person becomes the legitimate governor of the state.
Yes,
so sure. What happens?
Yes, for sure.
The person is going to stay for 4 years minimum.
One thing, what we want the international community to know,
okay,
that IPOB Biafra's we are ready to govern ourselves.
Okay.
That one person gives a command and the other is being carried. We want to write our name in a letter of gold. Let the world know that we are capable of governing ourselves. We know what we are doing. United Nations is aware of that. If about 2.something million people in that state, after the voters registry, 2.something million people, then 100 people will go there. That is a failure. That's a failure.
If you have 2.5 million voters and
yes,
you have 1 million people voted, it makes sense.
It makes sense, but I'm sure in Anambra that 1 million people are not going to vote every day, unless APC government is going to make it in their own way, and the whole world is watching. Mind you, PDP, their eyes are not closed. APGA, their eyes are not closed.
But they are all contesting.
They are contesting, but we are going to see the magic that is going to happen on November 18th.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, different comments here. The studio line will be open shortly. I see some people are calling in a few minutes. The studio line will be on. I want to hear first what people are saying. Ihan Ichukwu is saying, please boycott Anambra elections. Let's try something different. Stop. Voting is killing. Okay. And somebody saying that the Reverend Father, okay, referring to Reverend Father Anthony, has collected bribe from the money politicians paid to church leaders in Anambra. Well, I think everybody has his own view. He's from Anambra, so we must not really say that he has taken bribe. He's based in Ukraine here, and I know him very well. Okay, but I still beg everybody, please, no insults. Prove your point, write down your comments, and let's move forward. Prince Bush is saying there, he will be the governor of 25 people that voted for him. And we will see how that will work
out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, I'm not going to read people who are like, attacking each other. Okay, the studio line will be on now, and so that we can get your comments, and we can move on. So there is a difference between boycotting elections and saying stopping the. Some people are still saying no election. Somebody here said no referendum, no election. What is the link?
It depends on their own understanding. But one thing is that I know that IPOB is clamoring for is to boycott, not only in Anambra State, but any election in Biafra land. We are going to boycott it. But let me just ask a question. I think I was a kid by 1979 when they had the first, Second Republic election.
Right.
After that Second Republic election, that was the time my state, Imo State, voted an honorable and beloved governor, Chief Sam Onona Kambakwe. They voted him on, and Sam Mbakwe works absolutely right to make sure that Imo State was in order. He built industries, he made everything, he tied roads, give the people. Now the question is, after that administration, the next election was 1983, right?
Yeah.
Then, before Buhari overthrew Shehu Shagari. Now, since that 1983, or since after the vote, since that time we have been voting. What have we achieved?
We as the country, Nigeria as a whole.
We from Southeast, we from Biafra land. What have we achieved for the vote that you have been given?
But Nigeria, I would say that Nigeria as a whole, the average Nigerian hasn't gained anything at all from all this.
Then why are we voting? Why are we voting?
Then what are we going to do?
Look at Osimba just came to Anambra yesterday. He started talking about Second Niger Bridge, that they have awarded $2.something billion.
Yeah.
Second Niger Bridge. While 1.something billion last previous administration was awarded. Now, APC government is awarded 2.something. How many Niger Bridge are they going to use $2.something billion to build? Every year, every campaign, Buhari came during his own campaign and he promised us the second Niger Bridge. After 4 years, there is nothing like second Niger Bridge. They will come again and promise us again second Niger Bridge. What are we getting from the voting? That is why IPOB members decided that we are boycotting. We have not gained anything. Instead of getting what we were supposed to have, they are there killing us. The people that they are killing did not commit any offense. Rather, they asked for a referendum. Just give us a chance to decide where are we going to belong. I mean, that is not ask for war. So for that reason, I am in support to boycott every election in Biafra land.
Okay, let's say the people boycott the elections, somebody still wins, becomes the substantial governor of the state. After 4 years, what else?
We know that if we boycott it, we did not boycott it. Somebody is going to be there. We know.
Yeah.
But understand what? We are sending message across the global.
Okay.
Let the world know that indigenous people of Biafra are ready to govern themselves.
Okay.
We are ready to take our destiny in our own hand. We are ready to take care of ourselves as a country. That is why that boycotting that election is going to send a message across the world. They will know that these people are ready. In fact, I call it intercontinental ballistic missile from Biafra land. It's going to embrace on the whole world. Any freedom fighter people, what they are going to do is just to boycott the election. We are going to boycott it. Even in 2019, we are going to boycott it until our voice is being heard.
Okay, let me read a few comments here. First, let me say the studio line is open now. Please call in. There are 2 calls that came in from Nigeria. Please, you can call back. Let's hear you now. We can take your calls. Meanwhile, let me read the comments. Sammy Green is saying, I wonder what these people in Anambra State are enjoying for coming out to campaign for all these politicians who have killed these, the people who are demanding for their own rights and freedom. Okay. Justin Undokoba is saying, my young man of IPOB, you're hitting the nail on the head. Good job. That's
your my brother.
Moses Mwelbu is saying, they say we are terrorists. How can terrorists vote? Almost 80% IPOB. Okay. Fred Asanya is saying, the fact that Nigerians who celebrated the Python dance want Anambra elections more than the Biafrans is the major reason to boycott the elections. Okay. Okay. Weke Matthew is saying no election. Well, no election or boycott the election. They're saying no elections. Are you talking about disrupting the election? IPOB said that no, nobody disrupting the elections. They're just going to, boycott the elections, right? I think I'm right there.
No, you are right there, but somebody saying no election. I mean, boycotting election can also stand up by no election. If everybody will be boycott, we will sit at home that very day. I mean, who is going to vote?
Okay, in that sense.
Yes. I think that is what he meant there.
Okay. So you mean that there's nobody there you think that can really give the people of the state a voice from any of the parties?
One thing I know for sure, one thing I really know for sure. Okay, take for instance what already happened yesterday, the flag off of APC gubernatorial election in Anambra State. After they got to what happened?
What happened?
They shot one man dead.
For what?
The entourage of, what is his name, the gubernatorial aspirant APC, Woye. Woye was driving and this man was coming. His entourage asked him, take off your car, take off. I said, wait, am I going to carry this on? Come out, before they shoot him. That's all. That is how that man's life was ended up. That is flag off. Then, if this man will be elected as a governor, what will happen? He's going to be a monster in Anambra White House. So, what are we talking about? What are we? Why? That man is enough to say no to this election.
Okay.
Absolutely, it is enough to say no in this election because, and since then, nobody, none of the government, even Osibanjo was there, and all Rochas Okrocha, all of the APC, in the South, they are there, but nobody has made mention of that man they shot dead. What was his crime? Why? Who shot that man? The army. There is no investigation. Nobody speaks on behalf of us. That is why I'm calling the good people of Anambra State to boycott and listen to what IPOB and Nandekala have, the message that they have sent across. I'm not in support, and there is no way we can vote that very day. Let everybody just sit at home. We have done it before.
Okay. Let me read a few comments here. Chuku Jacob is saying no elections. Sammy Green is saying IPOB don't have the power to stop election. They are only asking the people to sit at home. Let those people bring their friends and families to vote. Parudel is saying we are not picking the studio line. The studio lines are open now, like I mentioned. The studio line is open, please. You can call in, and we still have some time before we round up the program. Isiani Daniel is saying all lovers of freedom will not vote. Okay. So if you are in Nigeria right now, you tell your people not to vote. You will not vote.
If I am from Anambra, one thing I have to do is
let's say
I will send money. I will send money to my people and ask them to cook a very good offense salad that very day. That is the only thing I will do. I will make sure that none of my family member voted for that election.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have a call coming in now. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I've called before and I decided to call again.
Oh, okay. That's
Stay on,
okay.
stay on the no election saga.
Right.
Yeah. What I have to say there is that we have been deceived enough, as I can say, and as everybody can see, we have been deceived enough. See, in this country called Nigeria, we have voted for over 50 years with the same method. And elections and voting is the same phenomenon. You do it every 4 years as they are doing it in Nigeria. I'm coming. So, since you have been doing it the same way, and there was no result. And later on, people will be telling us that when we were not born, that many countries we are even poorer than Nigeria. They are poorer than us. But now they are far, far more better than we are. So, why are we putting? It has been deteriorating the system of our living, the way we live. Why must we continue to live? Apart from that, having said this one, an issue of Nigeria system of electioneering. After election, and when candidate has been chosen, and he will definitely swear an oath by Nigeria Constitution to defend and the rest of the oaths they will constitution.
Right.
So, do you expect such person after he or she has taken an oath to come and renege on those oaths that he has taken? It's not possible. So anybody that's telling you that that you should vote for somebody that will fit your mind, it's a fact. It's not acceptable. It's not possible. If for an election they voted me and I swear an oath for swearing in. After swearing in, and they come back to them, I will tell you, my dear, look at the oath and you know the meaning of oath. I cannot relate from taking oath because the oath will clear me and my family. I will never relate. That is the truth. So what we are saying in essence is that the system is not working. We need to boycott the election. It's a revolution. It's a revolution, but in a more like it's our right to boycott the election. It's not killing. It's not death. It's all about staying back at home. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you too. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Well, he said it's a revolution. In this way, by boycotting the election, that was the point he made. He said Nigerian government must produce Nnamdi Kanu. Well, that's a topic for another day. Where is Nnamdi Kanu? Who is holding him?
Yeah.
Where is he? People say that he's hiding. People say the government is keeping him. Okay. Okay, Sammy Green is saying that, well, that's a nice question. Why was he shot there? Only that reason is enough to boycott anything called election. People of Anambra, the history of Igbo race indicate that Anambra is the first son of Igbo race, and you should act as the first son. Okay, directing to the person that was killed during the flagging off of the elections, of the campaign by the APC. Somebody was killed. Well, I believe that that's a reason, enough reason to boycott the elections. Well, okay, we have a few minutes to go. Maybe we can round up, and while we're rounding up, we can still take a few calls. Coming back to where we started, the medical outreach. And I remember somebody made a comment that if things were all right, why should people withdraw their children from schools in Ondo State and in Edo State, showing that there's a general mistrust now towards the Nigerian army, because of what is going on now. But let me ask a question that's further now. IPOB, now, things are sort of quiet now. The court case of Nnamdi Kanu, last time it was adjourned, because he did not appear. And now, what is going on? You as a member of IPOB, what is going on within IPOB? Just in a short form, what is going on now? What's the way forward for IPOB?
I mean, the thing there is that I've said it my previous appearance in the studio. I've said that every evil move Nigerian government or APC government took against IPOB is a glory to restoration of Biafra. That question is what we're asking. We don't know where our leader is. After the invasion of his house, they killed the cook who cooks food for him. They killed some boys who were in his house. They even shot the dog. What is the crime of a dog? You understand? So we don't know his whereabouts. IPOB is still asking. We're asking them to provide Nnamdi Kanu wherever he is, because the Nigerian army knows who his whereabouts.
Okay. Okay. All right. And well, we have to round up now. Coming back to the medical outreach, the botched medical outreach by the Nigerian army. Well, I think that there's not been any case yet, official case yet, even by anybody who could say that the child was forcefully vaccinated or that somebody died as a result of the vaccination. Though people are calling it vaccination, it was rather, the army is saying it was a medical outreach, not just nobody was vaccinated.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, and nobody said that he or she was vaccinated. Nobody has ever shown that.
Mm.
So more or less, you know, a lot of these stories going out there. What I believe is that maybe it was ill-timed. It was ill-timed because of the mistrust already that, you know, that people of the Southeast, they have, you know, towards the army because of the events that took place before that. People were already believing any kind of thing. You know, people are scared. Nobody trusts anything anymore. When you have rumors going around the social media and people telling one another that, look, this is what is going on, of course, parents are bound to panic. And no parent will sit down there without going to pick the child from the school. And that's why you had the same thing in Ondo State. There is no crocodile python dance there. Like, we didn't have the events that we had in the Southeast. In the western part, nothing really serious happened there. But when the medical outreach was introduced, still rumors went there and parents had to go and pick their kids from school.
You said who nobody have proved it.
No, nobody has. There's not been any. I don't know.
Who is going to prove it?
Nobody has ever said that the child was forcefully
Nobody.
vaccinated and the child died.
Okay, another question I have to ask. Did Nigerian media carried that news?
It was like rumors, but nobody
Rumors,
has ever.
rumors. Yeah. Why didn't they carry it? The work of media journalists is this: if something like that, if there is a rumor, they will go to the ground and investigate
Now, who's
and know the truth.
But there are media houses in the Southeast.
That is what I'm saying.
Any of
That
them
is-
prove-
that is what I'm
prove
saying.
anything?
That is what I'm saying. They cannot do it
Why
because the government want them not to do such a thing. Government want them not to carry such an investigation.
Okay.
You know, so something like that happened. They shot. Me and you saw on the social media that they went to church. They killed about more than 5 people in the church. Was shot dead. Did you see any Nigerian media in that church? Did Nigerian media carry to such a news? They did not carry it. Then would you expect that is going to talk on behalf of the poor
What do you
people?
mean they did not carry the news? The news was on the media.
After how many
the
days?
news.
After how many days?
No, the same day. We were here on the studio when that rumor, the story came
We
out.
first of all saw it on Facebook.
And the next day it was out.
We first of all, you know, one thing there is this.
That's why media meet now.
There is
Social media
there was a time
fast.
Osibanjo had a meeting. Osibanjo had a meeting with the journalists, with the media, closed door meetings. And after that meetings, Buhari come back. What did he say that he needs that you have the social media have crossed a red line? That is what does that mean? Showing that they are going to do something. I said it here.
Well,
You know, but now the media that are supposed to carry this news that military is going to give out medicament to the people, they did not carry it from
well,
the first.
I would say that that's the second point. Probably there wasn't enough awareness, like announcement, awareness, telling the people that this is what the army is coming to do. And maybe they must have gotten a feedback that, man, people might say, please We don't want you to
If
come
a
because of the
thief,
situation.
if a rogue or an armed robber is about to go and thief, then they don't even make an aspect of that.
Anyway, it's all right.
So that is exactly what Nigerian army did.
What I would say is that it was ill-timed, number one. Number two, because of the delicate situation then and still now, the Nigerian would have done a better job trying to pass the message across. Maybe they thought that no, doing this medical outreach rather gain trust of the people, but rather killed it off. I understand what you're saying. So it was ill-timed, not properly, thought out because of the situation on the ground. And what we have today, we have. Okay? And now, coming to the Anambra election. Well, November 18th is around the corner. Let's see what is going to happen. And, we'll see how it will go from there. And next time we'll be talking about October 1st has come and gone. And thank God, I would say, nothing happened in the north. Nobody was massacred, nobody was killed, nobody was chased out from the region. I mean, I would say that's positive. So there's still more to be done. The issues are still on the ground. The problems are still there. We still have to discuss them. There has to be dialogue so that everybody has to voice out his views, and so that we can find a way to move the country forward. Whatever it is, like as a forum here together, we always say that whatever it is that is good for the country as a whole and for every citizen, for the country to move forward, let it happen, whatever it is. We've reached that conclusion here, but what exactly should that be? We had different views. Okay, so okay. Iken Iwuchukwu is saying that where is Kanu? We did an update about him. The military may have killed him. We need update to know the next step this agitation is going. We cannot continue to live without knowing where Kanu is. Okay. All right. Well, I think we'll round it up here today. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for coming around. Like I said earlier, we have something cooking up. Very soon we're going to have our town hall meeting where we're going to have a lot of Nigerians, leaders here, people with different views again, to come. Let's come to the drawing board, let's come to the round table, and let us discuss our differences. Let us talk about our issues, and let's talk about the way forward. This program is not here to support anybody. We are here to allow everybody to speak. We are here to ask our questions, argue. It's a forum, so that let us know the way forward. Let us decide the way forward. The decision is made for the people. Then the politicians are making the decision, but actually the decision must be made by the people. Because we voted in those politicians there. Whether they went in there through rigging or what, but they are supposed to be representing us. And we still have the right to pull them down, whatever. The power belongs to the people. It's left for the people to wake up and understand that the power belongs to them and to make use of that power. And while understanding that their position, we are the kingmakers. People are the kingmakers. That is why it is necessary. That is why we have this forum. It is necessary for us to come together, iron out whatever differences that we have, and decide for ourselves the way forward. I don't see how if 50 million people march down in the whole streets of Nigeria that the government will not shake. There's no way. But we are wasting so much time insulting each other, throwing stones here and there, letting the politicians, giving them that chance to continue to be dividing us. That is what is going on. Until the people come together, irrespective of their differences, to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Many governments have been pulled down like that. Many countries have changed like that. It could be a silent revolution, however you call it. To me, that is the only solution for Nigeria's problem, because we can't continue like this. I repeat, we have almost 80 million young men and women who march down the streets of Nigeria and tell the government, enough is enough. This is what we want. Whatever it is. And when I mean millions of youths, from the north, east, west, south, middle, south, and whatever you can call it, this is when we can really have a strong change, strong voice, and serious change in the country. Okay? All right. I think this is where we'll round it up. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And my guest, usual contributor, Prince Oscar Ojinaka, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming around. Okay, viewers, you keep watching. This is Obi Ojimado with Nigeria, the National Question. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.